Welcome back to Factorio MSX Gigabase for our marathon tech-priced SpaceX Extreme, where you can see we've almost finished Worker Robot Speed 15. UPS is doing all sorts of wonderful and wild things. We're just shy of 300,000 iron plates and 140,000 copper plates. 177,000 green circuits, which is not bad. The science is a little bit disappointing at the moment. It tends to jump around, so what I have been doing is trying to get this improved. I don't know why it's quite as bad as that, but it might be because of map view. But anyway, what we've been doing is well, things like this, where we've been moving the miners right up hard against, or the platforms hard up against the mine, so that situations that we still have, like this one, which are kind of diabolical for bot performance, are minimized. And obviously there's quite a lot to go, and that's part of the reason we have this. But the other thing about that is, if you notice, there is no iron over here at all. This whole entranceway can be removed. The only reason I left it was because rubbish train was still due to come and pick up. Coal here is basically gone, so we may be in the hunt for a new coal shortly. Coal 3 has been revamped and moved. You know about our bypass. One thing, I'll carry on that first of all. The copper. This one I revamped, and yeah, there's like 2,400 left here. One miner trying to feed 2 trains. So that's kind of a little bit of the issue I've been facing, is that I'm kind of chasing my tail. You do this revamp and then suddenly it's exhausted, or it burns another hole by the time you're going around other places. We've done here as well. And yeah, wow. Oh, this bit here needs some miners. But yeah, copper is not going to be too much longer for the inner area. I didn't even move this one because I just decided that this was burning through so quickly. The only iron left is this one, which is actually quite large, and it's rather inefficient at the moment, so we do need to try and rework that a little bit. And other than that, I have been fixing what amounts to some minor issues. One of these whole sections was ordering copper rather than iron ore, so it wasn't working. I have had 1 or 2 minor issues around my mod, so I've been trying to iron them out as well. And I was finding that I'd be working on something, and then there'd be a little attack over here with, you know, just a handful of biters, enough to be annoying, and then I would go and deal with them, and then there'd be a little attack over here. So there's been a little bit of biter killing out here, and a little bit of biter killing sort of around this area, which has also highlighted a few extra copper sources, so that's good for this copper. But right now, what I am most interested in doing is this. So yeah, earlier on, about 30 episodes ago, I do believe I reduced the number of trains ordered by the system down to just 2, but obviously that hasn't been working to keep these at full capacity, so I've actually increased it back to 3. But we seem to have bots, swarming bots trying to charge seems to be the biggest issue in all of these now, so I might actually end up going back on not using this design. I probably made it work in the prior base by increasing bot capacity, so you'd need less actual charging mechanics. But I think there's just a bit too much charging going on here, so we may have to revert this to a completely surrounded type design and transport the copper coils by bot rather than direct insert like we are doing here, which is sort of unfortunate, but if that's what we need to do to make the thing work, maybe that's what we need to do. Let's just see where this is. I've actually removed some of these. I might take the sound out so that there's no sort of it's not this plaintive deal with me now kind of situation that we have at the moment. There we go. At least that one was fairly easy to quiet. So where does that leave us? Well, these guys should be running constantly at 190,000 or thereabouts. We have 3 lots of iron plate that should be running at up to 140,000 each, and 2 lots of copper plate that should be running at up to 140,000 each. Actually, it looks like we must have got to 3K, which is good. That means 2 of the science modules are working. So if they're not, it kind of means that for some reason we're not getting the full efficiency out of these. And before I build any more, I would like to get the full efficiency out of them. I mean, here for example, this guy is fine for the moment, but there's nothing in its pre-stackers. Though there is traffic down here, so maybe all will be well. With a bit of luck, there's one that's going to come into here very shortly. There you go. So now having 3 there might be enough. But what I'm noticing is, well, this for example. So as these copper sources in here have dried out or have failed to, can't keep supporting, like this was about 70 million when we first started, and what is it now? 5, when you count these 2 little patches together. It's just over 5 million. They can't support the number of trains that they used to. So we're regularly getting a situation where there's no ore coming in to the copper stack. I have actually added 2 more plate trains to each of these stacks, so they're up to about 18, and I may even increase that further. But what I need to do is basically tap some new sources of ore, because we I mean, now it's making a liar of me by showing you that there is a little bit of ore there, but there regularly isn't. Has that made any difference? Is this shooting up? So what have we got in here? So that's level 3 modules, science, red, green, and some of that's copper, and some of the reason we're not getting enough green is because of iron still. So what is our way forward aside from constantly chasing our tail? Oh, and look at all of this bot charging that's going on in this one. Can I actually get... Not really. I have to be very careful here that we don't pick up coal. So I guess I will just put one there, to make up for that. What I'd like to do is my sparse mining pattern does not have speed modules in it, patterns. And it was done on a fairly small area, so there are holes like the one at the top of that one. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over to this copper ore, which eventually we're going to exploit, eventually being fairly soon, because here you go again, copper is missing all the ore. So while it's easily accessible, I'm going to run down here and go to manual mode and see if I can drive any better than the last few times I've tried. This UPS is kind of getting on my nerves, so we're obviously going to keep attacking that. And in terms of research as well, obviously with the fact that I might let these bots catch up. The fact that we're constantly burning through these resources now with our constant level of demand, it basically means that it is high time to do that long-awaited, there's no train traffic that comes out this way, so we should be fine just to park up here. Long-awaited productivity research, which is also a lot of fun because it's always nice to see the researchers ticking over pretty fast. This one really should be gone any moment now, although we're back to 1.5. My other little hobby has been to try and check why science is not going. So from that, it's obviously yellow. It's probably processing units again. No, this one is working. It's actually missing modules. So it's calling a module train, I think. Looks like batteries are low. Q1. Yeah, it's trying to get more modules, so it's going to run out shortly. And up here, we're getting no activity at all because we are also short on module 3s, and they're probably missing green circuits because it's constantly underproducing. What's going on up here? Absolutely nothing, actually. That's not a good sign. We are calling red circuits, and the red circuits area is doing what exactly? It's manufacturing red circuits at 21,000 or so. These all look like they're running. This one not so much because it's calling green circuits because we don't make enough green circuits. And finally, worker robot speed 15. So I partly wanted to start this episode at this time so that you'd actually see the end of worker robot speed 15, so that we could then start this, guys. These mining productivity, which of course because of marathon is 6,000. Now I don't what was I going to say? I don't want to stop science and, you know, rebuffer it to make this impressive and blah blah blah. I want to get on with the productivity because that's going to help us a lot. So let's just do it. We are only doing science currently at a very low level indeed, it seems. It must have just restarted. But yeah, we have to sort these out. 146 won't do, and it should be near 190. I do believe I'm going to need another green thing, but not until we sort this out one way or another. So what's the problem here? I don't really know. It's filling up pretty fast. And here we are lowish on copper, but unloading copper very fast. I mean, look at all the bots. I don't really know what I can do about these bots. There's not really room for more charging. Do I just give it even more bots and see what happens? Will that just mean that there's more bots lined up charging? It could be. And up here we are horribly short of copper and very low on iron. With a bit of luck, this copper, no, it's heading into here. But we do have a stack here, so maybe some of them are going to go up there. Anyway, enough of worrying about that. That's kind of why I haven't achieved that much in the interim, because I've been doing that sort of thing. Alright, let's get rid of some trees here. So, we need to revamp our, well, my sparse mining set of blueprints. So I want a huge site to be able to do it on, not just in terms of, in fact, the most important part of the huge site is not that it has hundreds of millions of ore, but that there's plenty of area, not not the other word, area to spread out. And there we go. These shouldn't take too long to get through some of these levels. We were at 15. Where we need to get to is, I do believe I calculated, so 15 gives you 30% productivity bonus for 130 overall. That let us have roughly 50 miners for a train per minute. The obvious idea is to go to a point where the productivity from the mines doubles or halves the number of miners you need, because you've doubled it. So 130 needs to be 260, which means we have our base 100 plus we need 160% bonus. You get that at 80 levels, so I am aiming for 80 levels of mining productivity as our sort of immediate target. These aren't as good as some, this particular patch, but it's very big, so that's kind of why it got chosen. And it's very close to the copper, so it will be very useful. Alright, that should do in terms of tree clearance. So I'll just drop these trees off and grab some speed modules. Go in there, and you lot can go in there. Let's go something like that for now. Get another level happening. Are we going any faster yet? It does look like it's speeding up to about 4,500 a minute. It's not too bad. Okay, so this is like a basic starting point, but it has a problem in that I think this is, so remember how I've been constantly concerned about the construction manager? I think this 0.6 is largely the handful of construction bots I've put at each location to move the depleted mines. They also move the depleted boxes, but the depleted boxes are often very full of ore. The boxes relating to the depleted miners, that is. So what I want to do is basically that. So there won't be much ore. There won't be much ore sitting in these boxes when it's depleted, and hopefully the construction manager won't waste quite so much time on it. So that would be my revised blueprint. For that area. Now let's get our what did I do? Sparse mining. There we go. So if that's the minimum sparse mining build, what I want to do to it is basically okay, so is that what happens? And we've got too many of those. Alright, so let's rip all of that out, in fact, and instead what I want to do is get another one of these happening. You notice it's going up by 4 each time. So this should be a lot better. There's our new sparse mining. What I might do is move sparse mining down here. So that one's done. Okay, so the next one is basically this, except that it needs a connection between the two. Okay, and then the next size was that one, which is just a doubling again. Alright, let's do that. And this one was basically a doubling, but going in the like this direction. But it needs some more of those, and in fact I don't need these ones to be filled out for the blueprint to work, so that's fine. And the final one is the huge one, which what I might do pick up that. There's the huge one. No, it's going to have issues, isn't it? Let's keep these guys going. Need to get up to 80, remember. What's that? 7.6, fairly cheap still. So what I might do is just take all of those off for the moment, and then do that, and then we'll fill this in. Oh yeah, of course. This is the one that actually needs the space, so that's not going to work. Let us get rid of those. We're going to need to move it up. It's actually quite hard to build these huge ones. Let's get rid of all of that. Right, that's more like it. Guess that's what I want. One, two. Coming down to about there. Out to about there, perhaps. Something like that. Like that. And like that. So that can basically be our new huge design. Just need to get to the top end. Probably needs another robo port over this end, but that's okay. There we go. Revised and improved designs. Now, let's clear all this stuff out, because that's not necessarily the optimal way of doing this. The other thing that I am quite interested in doing, in fact, is instead of just always running at the side and being all nervous about actually crossing onto the ore itself, I'm actually thinking that it may be better to just run straight up the middle of these very large patches, and then you're completely surrounded by ore. So for this one, this patch, which has all the trees, is probably the best patch to make our entrance in. So if we were to, for example, let's just move you out of the way. Come back here. Yeah, so round about here, I think. So let's clear out signals from these three so that we can get a 4 to 2. Find our good rail. Four to 2 junction. And then yeah, we just build a, for this one, a 4 platform, I'd say. Let's see, this thing here is probably a reasonable 4 platform. Since I'm in the process of rebuilding these platforms, whoops, that's not wide enough. I probably wanted it about that wide. It's going to pick up all of these, which is not altogether a bad thing. Let's see where this fits when we use InfiniZoom. It's not bad, we could probably go up a bit. Something like that would actually be pretty good. Out of map mode. Oh. I probably want an extra segment or so there, that's what I was sort of thinking. Let me just get rid of these bits. Let's get another productivity research going. Level 21. They don't ramp up quite as viciously as the bot speed, which of course makes sense. That's the 4-way, isn't it? Something like that. I need some stops, I need some bots, I need some requester chests, and some stack inserters. Possibly even some rail. Bots, chests, stack inserters, roboports. And stations. So this will be copper, whatever we're up to. Copper 17. All of these are unhappy. Let's fix that predilection. Now I'm basically trying to provide a little bit of room in the hopes that we can fit extra roboports in these spots. Don't need that guy anymore, I don't think. And I will grab this lot. Place it over here. You guys should be sitting down there. Same general deal. We could actually do with some more roboports. Seems to have slowed right down, so we've probably got another issue with some roboports. one in here. We do this. That, and we did that. Up here we did that, and that, and up here got rid of that guy and placed one of those there and an extra one up there. Right, so now we just need zillions and zillions of miners with our new patterns. A huge doesn't quite fit along the side anymore, so we could go back to this size and just lay it down. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Actually, how many miners does that have? It has 64, so that's about 192. If we do the same thing on this side, we're going to lose a few off to the side, but that's okay. And I also overlapped, so we didn't quite get the full benefit of that. So that won't quite be 800. Let's in fact have a very quick squiz at how many that was in fact. It was 340, so we want about another 60, say, in the first instance. I actually need a long one as opposed to these ones that just keep getting doubling up the same thing. Let's go there and there maybe, and over here let's put one in, say about there. Tidy up bits that make no sense. You guys are requesting copper, that's excellent. So yeah, you're going to be out of range, but that's okay because we can slap robo ports in like here. And here. And here. Yeah, that goes too fast, so we might just have to have one sort of here. Here. Right, let's see if we can get some medium poles, some miners, some red boxes, and obviously these guys out of our train. Maybe we can even move the train a bit closer to finish this up. We need you, need you guys, right, here, we need you. We have some excess trees, they can go in there. Grab you. this is crawling. What's our science actually doing? Absolutely nothing. Never mind, I will check into that at the end of this episode. You guys are out of range of everybody, so basically about here we need one of you. Oh, you guys are out of range. Oh, that one's not powered, that's why. Does that help? No, they're still green. More robo ports, please. Right, what are we short of now? It looks like it's mainly miners. See how that goes. None of this side powered currently. Might need us to do up here. Some of them are powered. Just missing modules. Okay, let's grab. That's not very many. Try that for size. Now the advantage of this is when these guys wear a hole through here, we can move these over to here, and right next to them they will have a dense copper to carry on with. You guys are slightly too far. Okay. And you need power. So, aside from bots, that is basically copper, what was it? Copper 17? Oh no, there's a bunch of stuff over here that we're missing as well. Let's sort that out. Pretty much a bunch of everything. More miners, more speed modules. Maybe some more of the poles as well. See how that goes. This guy needs power. And we need some of these boxes. We need extra of those, possibly extra of those. Shall we wire it up? I guess. Global playback, show alert, the alert is one of these. Hang on, let me just see what I'm using in other places. We'll copy what they're doing and then make some adjustments. Right, alarms, alarm 1. 4 is not the one though. I think we'll go to about 16 here. The volume is going to go down to about there. You don't have power? You don't have power. You don't have power. Okay. Well, you're pointless then. Alright. There we go. So, aside from needing, well, obviously some trains, some bots, we are done. So, I think that's where we'll leave this one. Thanks for joining me. I'll continue to work on the mining productivity research, and I will continue to work to fix these issues. Obviously iron is probably going to be dealt with next, although I might quickly come in here and you know, change it down to like a two platform just underneath. It's only 9 million there. Remember when that one was 70 odd. This one's not going down quite so quickly. This one I'm trying to oh, they're looking for modules. None of this has modules. I think I need to come over here, put modules everywhere, and then I'm trying to cut down the sides here and here so that we can move this right down to here. But anyway, yes, that's all we've got time for. So thanks for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you in the next, where hopefully we'll start making a decent inroad into this and keeping our science ticking over at the 6,000. See you then, guys. Bye bye for now.